You're driving on a highway. The road is wide. There's barely any traffic. Then you see an exit. Suddenly, cars slow down. Everyone starts changing lanes. And somehow, one simple exit can create a huge traffic jam. But why? Highway exits are supposed to make driving easier. They let cars leave the highway without stopping everyone else. So why do they sometimes cause miles of traffic behind them? The problem isn't always the exit itself. It's what drivers do before reaching it. Cars begin moving across lanes, slowing down, speeding up, and trying to get into the correct position. One small mistake can then spread backward through hundreds of cars. And the strangest part? The traffic jam can sometimes happen even when there isn't an accident. As drivers get closer to an exit, something changes. People who need to leave the highway start moving into the correct lane. One driver slows down to make room. The car behind them has to brake. Then another driver brakes. Then another. The slowdown keeps traveling backward through the traffic. The strange part is that the first driver may only slow down for a moment, but every car behind them reacts a little later. That small delay can grow until hundreds of cars are moving much slower than before, and nobody had to crash for it to happen. The exit simply created a situation where too many drivers were trying to change lanes at nearly the same time. But lane changes aren't the only problem. Some drivers wait until the last second to get off, and that's where things can get even worse. Now picture a driver who waited too long. The exit is getting closer, but they're still in the wrong lane. Suddenly, they spot the exit sign. They have only a few seconds left, so they move across. One lane. Then another. Other drivers see the car moving in front of them and hit the brakes to avoid a crash. That creates another slowdown. And because cars are traveling close together, even a small brake can affect several drivers behind them. A highway can carry thousands of vehicles without slowing down. An exit ramp can't. It's a much narrower space, often controlled by a light, a stop sign, or a tight turn. Picture pouring water through the neck of a bottle. The container is wide. The opening isn't. When the ramp fills up, cars have nowhere to go. So they stop, not on the ramp, but on the highway itself. At that point, the exit isn't receiving traffic anymore. It's pushing traffic backward. Here's what makes this even stranger. The jam can outlive its own cause. This is called a phantom traffic jam. One driver taps the brakes. Maybe they reacted to a lane change. Maybe they just lost focus for a second. The car behind brakes a little harder. The car behind that one brakes harder still. Within seconds, that's a wave, rolling backward through traffic, car by car, even after the original driver has sped back up and is long gone. And the wave doesn't move like a normal object. It travels backward at a strangely constant speed, around 12-20 kilometers per hour, no matter how fast the cars themselves are going. That's because the wave isn't made of cars. It's made of reaction time. Each driver takes roughly the same fraction of a second to notice the brake lights ahead and respond. String enough of those delays together, and you get a jam that crawls backward through the traffic like a ripple through water, sometimes for miles, long after the cause has disappeared. No accident. No construction. Just delay multiplied. Not every exit produces this. Some are simply built worse than others. Short ramps give drivers less time to merge. Multiple lanes forced into one create a fight for space. Exits placed too close to on-ramps mean cars leaving and cars entering are crossing paths at the same time. And it's not just what happens before the exit, it's what happens after. A ramp that dumps onto a light, a roundabout, or a road that can't absorb the volume just moves the backup a few hundred feet, then lets it grow back onto the highway anyway. That's why two exits can look identical on a map and behave completely differently in real life. So how do engineers actually fight this? Two tools do most of the work. Neither tool removes the traffic. They just stop one small brake from turning into a 5-mile backup. So the next time you're stuck near an exit with no accident in sight, remember, the jam didn't start where you're sitting. It started with one driver, one brake, several minutes ago, and it's been rolling backward ever since. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more.